Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from Arnie's. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
This is Alan Karpick on our Arnie's Birthday Zoom. And this is the only two-time member of our Arnie's Birthday Zoom. The legendary Howell Wheaton turns 100 today. And we're recording a day or two early, but we're still in the spirit of all this. How what a great life you've led, and happy birthday to you, man. When you're a knucklehead at 100 years old, you're our best friend.
I was a knucklehead long before there was Knucklehead Century.
I know that's true. All right, now for those of you that didn't watch it, we did this 3 years ago with Howell on his 97th, and we think he's the oldest knucklehead out there. But he's the most seasoned knucklehead out there, and that's what we'll say. But Howell lives in Columbia, Missouri. He was at Purdue from about the 1950s to 1968, but has remained a Boilermaker fan. He's around those Missouri Tigers, but he's a pretty thorough Boilermaker fan. So tell us the story, how you got started. Dale Samuels was one of your quarterbacks you first watched, but talk about the first time you saw Purdue sports play.
Oh, well, had to have been in the fall 1950.
Yeah, a good year.
Yes. And of course, as a student, we were sitting in the north end zone. Now, I don't remember much about the next few games, but the last game of the season, we were playing IU. And being an old Marine, I had a little flat bottle of substance, an adult beverage in my overcoat. And it was so darn cold, I couldn't unbutton to get to the thing. Purdue won.
Well, Howell, I want to say
my first.
But Howell, 1950 was a great year for Purdue. Of course, the Boilermakers beat Notre Dame that year and ended their long winning streak. But I'm going to do something as a first, because I'm having a toast to you. It's happy hour in Indiana, and I'm having an old fashioned on your. So I'm not hiding my substance. I'm just having it off to the side here, but a privilege to be able to share this time with you. Now, you saw Dale Samuels. You were there in 1952 when Purdue won a Big Ten championship. But tell us about what really, you were an ag guy you've been in ag your whole life. Angus cattle is your game, still is your game. At your 100th birthday celebration, you're going to have an auction, which is amazing. You're still working, but tell us what really made you a Purdue fan true and true early on. I mean, the college experience, but what made you a Boilermaker?
First of all, Purdue is a great university.
Yeah.
And they gave me a great education.
Yeah.
Which I've all been thankful. I don't want to talk about degrees much, but I got my bachelor's in science degree my master's at Purdue. A few years later, I was on the faculty at Purdue, and I decided that you needed that darn third degree if you really wanted to advance and stay. So the University of Kentucky took me, and it was so interesting that good education that Purdue gave me in science and et cetera. I didn't have to take a lot of courses that they require.
Yeah.
So I was able to speak through with that. And I have a story I would like to tell.
Please tell it, my friend.
I was on sabbatical in the summer of 1963 at Kentucky. I had an early morning class, and by 10 o'clock, I'm back home sitting on the front porch reading a book, studying in what I would call a low middle income type of environment. my 10-year-old daughter, Jane, was playing with a little girl on the other end. And I heard this conversation. Doesn't your daddy have a job? You know, and, what? And then Jane used a term that we really didn't use at home, but she said, "Oh, my daddy's going to school to be a doctor." Oh, boy. And then the little girl said, "And help people when they're sick."
Yeah.
Jane gave a great answer. After a little pause, she said, "No, he's going to be the kind of doctor that doesn't help anybody."
And that isn't true, Howell. That isn't true.
Maybe she was right. Who knows?
You have helped feed a lot of people in this country, and there isn't anything more important than that your work ethic that you've had. In my 7 or 8 years of knowing you, you've impressed upon me the importance of a good day's work and always a joke at the end of the day, because you have got so many stories and fun things that we've shared over the years. Now, I want to ask you about your memories before you left Purdue. Purdue did get to the Rose Bowl, and Bob Greasy led Purdue in the 1967 Rose Bowl. But talk about any of your memories of those teams. Whoop, we're back. You're back. You're good. Did I lose you for a second?
Yeah, it cut out.
Okay, well, tell me what any memories of that first Rose Bowl, 1967. You were still at the university at that time. I don't know if you were able to go to Pasadena, but tell us about just being a part of a Big Ten championship season. You had two of them, one in 1952, one in 1966, or 67, I should say.
Those were great years. We had so many good memories. Of course, Jeanette, my wife, wanted to go to the Rose Bowl that first year. I said, "Well, maybe next year or a few years,
Yeah,
I'll be better equipped financially to go." It was a long time.
yeah, 34 years.
Good old Drew Brees came to the rescue.
All right,
So
one of the go ahead. I'm sorry.
Repeat.
My question, and you've always been good about being contemporary and realizing things change. Everybody in the world is asking the question, did you ever think you'd see UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington in the Big Ten? Isn't that unbelievable?
I can't believe it. I just think, actually, I think when I first started at Purdue, the Big Ten had 9 schools.
That's correct.
I'm not sure when Michigan State came back, I think, to make the 10th one.
That's
And
right.
I
In 1953. That's correct.
I do have a story
Yeah.
about a football game I will always remember. Purdue was playing Michigan State, I think before they might have been in the conference, and they had a win streak like 30-some games. And Purdue scored a touchdown in the first half, and as usual, bumblefingers, we missed the kick.
Yeah.
So we're leading 6-0. We kick off to Michigan State, and they ran the darn thing back for a touchdown. But it was called back for a penalty.
Yeah.
And that game went on and on at 6-0. And the stands in that fourth quarter got quiet. Like if they're afraid if we breathe, we'll break the spell. And that's how it ended. And it wasn't until the end that the noise began again. It was as quiet as a mouse in church, that fourth quarter. I will never, ever forget that.
You're right. That your memory is great. October 1953, Dan Pobajewski scores that lone touchdown and beats Michigan State. I think that was the first year, I believe, and somebody's going to correct me, first year that Michigan State was in the Big Ten, but they were ranked number 1 on a long winning streak. You think about that when you first started watching Purdue football, Howell, Purdue ended a long 39-game winning streak against Notre Dame in 1950. They broke Michigan State's long winning streak in 1953. And then in 1954, a guy named Len Dawson went up to Notre Dame and stopped a 20-game Notre Dame victory streak. So there were some great streaks that Purdue broke in your formative years of watching Purdue football.
One of my great memories of Purdue that I actually knew personally, President Howell.
Yeah.
Through my work, and we had crossed paths several times. And after we beat Notre Dame that Saturday, the students were going to take Monday off.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, I wished I could imitate President Hovey's accent, but he assured us that those guys from Notre Dame put their hats on one leg at a time, like the rest. Now let's go back to class. And by golly, we did.
Yeah. You've been pretty good, Fred, of the invitation. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right. Now, when you reach 100 years old, everybody's going to ask you, and I've asked you this, and I've listened to every word you've said. What's been your secret to longevity? What has really kept you? You've been a tireless worker. You've kept a sense of humor, but what's your secret sauce, Howell?
Well, first of all, I guess I inherited good genes.
Yeah, that helps.
My grandparents did not live to be very old. And then there were some Japanese soldiers that were damn poor shots.
Oh, yeah.
In the Marine Corps. And I've been an admirer of Harry Truman forever.
Yeah.
Because we were slated for, my company was to be the first wave to land on the shores near Nagasaki. And we were expected to have 90% casualties in my company.
Yeah.
And so a few weeks after Harry dropped the bomb, I was, among other duties, I was our company commander's rudder. And we climbed ashore and we were at the edge of the atomic bomb crater in peace. I looked around and we're still the only two there. So I can honestly say I'm one of the two fellows that actually stepped into an atomic bomb crater that was dropped in anger.
Yeah.
And I've been an admirer of Harry Truman and his politics ever since.
Yeah. Well, that was a momentous time. We just got time to sit.
Up on the serious stuff. It's been
no doubt.
Nice.
All right. So what in your go ahead, Howell. I'm sorry.
I had a great Purdue wife for 51 years and a couple of grandkids. Well, I've actually got 5 grandkids, and the 3 older set are on the West Coast. And then there's these 2 nearby, and Trace and Tessa, of course, and they've been pretty good kids. I don't know. He seems to have found girls.
Yeah.
Pick up trucks. And the 2 of them, they'll be broke.
That's the fastest way to financial ruin is women, right? So you got to be careful on that.
I'll drag on a little bit. He did graduate from MU with honors, so.
Oh yeah, Trace has been so helpful in putting this together, and Susan as well. We appreciate them. So, Howell, we hope your celebration is a big one, and I know it will be. You got an auction going on. You've got a lot of things still to do. One of the things you still have to do is to see Purdue in the Final Four in basketball. And again, you saw it in 1969 and 1980, and maybe 2024 will be the year. They're going to be fun to watch. We know that. I know you taught Zach Edey everything What's that?
I said, maybe we'll make it this year.
Well, I was going to say you taught Zach Edey everything he needs to know about good center play. Is that true?
The what?
You taught Zach Edey everything he needs to know about being a good center, didn't you?
Yes. I kind of missed part of that question, but But it was, as I said.
He said, "Did you teach Zach Eady everything he knows?"
Oh, yeah, yes. To grow tall.
Yeah.
He went
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
direction and I went the other. I have shrunk 4 inches since my Marine Corps days. I
Well,
wasn't always as little and stubby. Well, they've been there. I've always been proud of coaches at Purdue. Coach Painter, I'm sure he plays everything on the level. And so I've always been proud of Purdue for many ways.
yeah.
I'm thankful I've been a Boilermaker.
Yeah, well, we're thankful for you, Howell, and brightening our day today. And we hope and we know that you're going to have a great birthday and a great celebration. And I hope you get a little of that libation in you somewhere. You sneak it in there to your party, because I'm going to be thinking about you on that day. So
we are the party before starts out. It's what I call a B&B party.
yeah.
It's certified Angus beef and booze. I mean, adult beverages.
I'm with you. I'm with you, my friend. Well, have a great day. It is an honor to have you be on here, and you have been such a good friend to us, and you've been such a supporter of Golden Black and Brian Newbert and Tom Deanhart. It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
It means everything to us, to be very honest. And we know that you're going to be watching that the Boilermakers, when they take the field against Fresno State in the Ryan Walters era. There's going to be exciting times in Ross-Ade Stadium. So you have a great birthday. Thanks so much for the time today. Trace, thank you so much for hustling home from work and making this happen. But this is as much fun as you can have in media journalism, as being able to talk to you. So thanks so much, Howell.
If I don't get my Knucklehead Central fixed every day, I'm not quite right.
We appreciate the endorsement. Have a great one.
Thank you very much for keeping us far away Boilermakers in touch. Thank you.
Well, thank you.